Hello and welcome to part 2 of the How to Find Your Strengths video series. And if you haven't watched the first part, please go back and watch it because this video is going to build on it. And yeah, my name is Kat, and I have to say I've been in the process of trying to find my strengths, and it's been quite the challenge. And that's what this video is going to be about. It's going to be all about experimentation because in the end, that is the core thing of trying to find your strengths. You can do as many personality tests as you like and ponder about it, think about it, journal on it, but you're not going to really truly know what your strengths are, what you're good at, until you actually do some stuff and experience it for yourself. At least that's from what I've noticed in my own experience. And I'm still going through this whole process. I've really struggled, to be honest, to come up with the second part of it because I thought I'd have to come up with this perfect process of incorporating all the things that I've learned about strengths. But really, I decided to make it really simple and narrow it down to the core thing, which is taking action. And that is what we're going to focus on in this video. So I'm going to prepare you to be able to take action. That is my goal. And we're going to do it with the help of AI, trusty AI, and also with some journaling prompts, but not too much. It's going to be very simple and it's also going to be fun. So stick with me, please. And if you really genuinely care about trying to figure out what your strengths are, what you're good at, and you really want to use that in your day-to-day life, in your career, etc., please do the activities. Try it out. It really won't hurt, and at least it's worked for me, or it's working for me because I'm still in the middle of it. And I'm going to be staring at my computer screen quite a bit now because this is where I've got all the exercises down, and I'm going to get up my ChatGPT because we're going to use that as a supporting tool to help us figure out some stuff and to make things quicker and faster because we like efficiency, right? So if you're not a ChatGPT fan, that's totally fine. I mean, you can still do these exercises manually, of course, but I have to say it really made a difference for me, and it came up with some ideas that I would maybe not have come up with myself, or not in the speed and in the structured way, because I'm a very messy person. I need someone to help me structure things, and that's what AI is really good for. So I recommend it, but it's obviously not a must. None of this is a must. Intro activity number 1. Job from hell. Okay. Um, and this activity is inspired by an author called Barbara Sher. It's from one of her books that I'm going to insert here. And I'm not even through this book. It was written in the 90s, and it's really helped me a lot. And I wanted to share an activity there and then the rest of the stuff is kind of based on that activity. So I just wanted to say that I've adapted it, but the first original Jobs from Hell activity is from her book. So the thing I found with strengths and weaknesses is that it is so much easier to think about what our weaknesses are. What are we bad at? What do we dislike doing? What are our weaknesses? All of those things. Instead of to think about what positive things there are, or what our strengths are. At least from my experience, I found that to be true. And that's why we're going to do this Job from Hell activity. What you're going to do is you're going to get out some paper or your notes, ideally actually a laptop, because we're going to put it into ChatGPT. You're going to write down your job from hell, a description. What I mean by this is, for example, what activities are you doing in that job? And think about also some things from the previous video. If you wrote down some things that give you energy, what are some think about now for this activity, things that do not give you energy, things that you're really bad at, and blend all of those things into your job from hell. I'm going to give you an example from me. This is essentially my job from hell, as you can see as I put it into ChatGPT, and I'm going to tell you in a second what you do with it in ChatGPT. But what I wrote, just along those lines, I really exaggerated a lot of things, is, I'm a financial analyst or tax accountant or something to do with Excel sheets and numbers. I have to calculate things all day. It has to be very precise. I have to double and triple check things. I work in an office in the middle of a financial district, have to wear heels and a business suit all day, etc., etc. You can tell this is a very exaggerated version, but I really made it my job from hell. Yeah, I've described a couple of things and also some characteristics of where I work and what colleagues I work with, what I'm doing, and really try to also blend in some of my weaknesses. And I want you to do the same now. So whip out your pen and paper if you are more of an analog person, or your laptop, iPad, whatever, and just brain dump it. Write it all down, the first things that come to mind. Maybe even time yourself for like, I don't know, 3 to 5 minutes. You really don't need more. And just write the first things that come to your mind. Go, 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 go. Okay, we're going to take a tea break. Ow, this tea's hot. Ow, ow, ow. Okay, it's very hot tea. Okay. Now take a deep breath because you've just written a lot of bad things down. A lot of bad things. So, all right. Now with new energy, we're back. We're back. And we're going to get out the trusty ChatGPT. And what you're going to write down, very simple actually. Write down, this is my job from hell. How would I turn this around? What is the exact opposite of this? Get very specific. And then I pasted in my job from hell. And what you do then is see what ChatGPT comes up with, because what it will do for you is literally come up with the opposite things. And the cool thing about that is that it reflects a lot of the things that you want to have in your workday, and it reflects a lot of your strengths that you probably already have, because the opposite of your weaknesses are often your strengths. Not all the time, but like a lot of the time. Say you're bad at really details, you're probably much better at the big picture. And if you're really bad at collaborating with people, like lots of people, maybe you're better at one-on-one scenarios or better at just independent work. So yeah, have a look. And I really love mine because it's really structured very well. Role and activities, so it lines out some activities. For example, for me, creative and hands-on work. I'm a conceptual designer or a director. Physical and dynamic environment. This is something that I learned so recently about myself, that I really need something that's dynamic, ever changing, because I really am good at like things that are a little fast paced and changing quickly and adapting to that. Experimental mindset. Like I'm very growth orientated and I want to try things out, and that is also a strength of mine. And so that is what I would need in an organization. So you can see how it's already like kind of, you can already gather and pull some strengths from there. And then it goes into location and setting, for example, nature inspired workspace, flexible collaborative layout. Your colleagues and culture is diverse, inclusive, and open-minded team. I mean, these are a lot of buzzwords too, but yeah, that is what I need, I guess. Lifestyle and flexibility, work style and project flow, blah, blah, blah. So you can take this as inspiration, and it's a really good first activity to just get clear about what would work for you as a work environment. And for example, if you're reading this and you say, nah, this does not sound right, I need to change this and this, put it in. You can tell ChatGPT and you can make adjustments. So you can really play around with it. You don't have to like take the first thing that literally it suggests. So what I type in after I get my reverse job from hell, so my job from heaven essentially, I then type in, based on what you know about me for my job in hell, what do you think I'm actually good at? So I don't know if this is the best prompt ever, because it did give me one thing that I don't agree with, but the rest was good. And you can tweak it. But it said, you described a job that requires precision, structure, and process adherence, which, yeah, and like analytical and detail-oriented thinking, not really the case. I think that's where it went wrong. But other than that, communication and facilitation. I love how it mentions the fact that you dislike being mansplained to and working in an environment with no room for creative discussion tells me that you value clear, engaging, and inclusive communication. I just love that. That's great. Yeah, you're right, ChatGPT. Okay, you probably explain things well to others. And it's funny because now that it says this, I'm like, yes, that is something that people have told me in the past. That's feedback I've received from others, that I do explain things very well, and concepts. And so, yeah, ChatGPT is like mirroring that to me. Creativity and performance, your passion for acting, content creation, and workshops shows that you're naturally expressive and engaging. Well, I hope so. Thank you. Problem solving and out of the box thinking, independence and leadership potential. Anyway, I'm not going to go into this into so much detail, but you can see that I came up with like several strengths of mine, and according to this job from hell, because it flipped around, my weaknesses, turned it into my dream job and my strengths, and now it pulled, like, it's kind of summarized the strengths from there. And this was really cool to do because I'm like, wow, yes, these are a lot of my strengths from what I've heard, from what I've intuitively also feel from feedback around me. And it's just really nice to kind of have that like very specifically laid out in front of me. Okay, and the last thing we want to do is figure out, okay, but how do we try this out in the real world? Because that is where we've actually really figure out if these are true strengths of yours and which strengths of yours you might want to lean into the furthest, I was going to say. But yeah, it's true. Like, which strengths do you want to really capitalize on? And you're not going to know that until you try it further and you do experiments. And experiments are really great for that because they're just little things, activities that you can try to test the waters and to really test yourself and be able to reflect quickly and then move on to the next thing. Obviously, you don't have to try many experiments, but I think it's really nice to, in order to find your strengths and aligned with that, I guess, also figure out work that maybe is meaningful to you, more meaningful to you, or a next role that you want to do, is, yeah, to try things out and to really explore. And now, what I said, okay, how would I approach this? Say I'm not sure which one of these I should go for next or first. What are some easy steps I could take to find this out? And then it gave me experiments. Mini experiments, which is exactly what I'm preaching. For example, number 1, it gave me like 4 easy experiments I can do. Host a small workshop, even just for friends. Pick a topic, invite 3 to 5 people, keep it simple, and see how you feel facilitating it. I love that idea. Super easy, super straightforward. I can do that literally like this weekend if I wanted to. Number 2, film and post short content. Try posting a short video where you share insights or act or blah, blah, blah. You can post on Instagram, TikTok, or just send to friends. I mean, that's what I'm doing with my YouTube videos, so I'm already doing that. Shadow or collaborate with someone doing this already. So this is super interesting. It's like reach out to someone who runs workshops, facilitates acts, or creates content. I mean, it's keeping it very broad, but I would go more in the workshop and facilitation space and ask if you can assist, observe, or just have a conversation with them about how they started. I've done this and I'm still in the process of this, and I think this is a really great experiment to do. And then freelance a tiny gig if you can, like offer a low cost or free one-on-one session and facilitation coaching or performance training. Try doing a small paid gig on Upwork or Fiverr or through your network. And even one experience can give you clarity. I love these, and I feel like I'm going to do all of these, or I'm already doing some of these. And then it also gives me check-in questions after each experiment. So did I enjoy this? Did it feel energizing or draining? Did it feel natural to me or forced/uncomfortable? And did I receive positive feedback? Like, do others find value in it? Because that's also a really important piece, right? And yeah, I mean, then it goes on further, but I'm not going to go into it. But I think this is really, really cool because it really allows you to take action quickly. And you can just then pick one thing or all 4 things or whatever and go for it. Take action, try it out, run experiments. And like, as I said, experiments don't have to be crazy. Like, experiments don't have to be to hike Mount Everest. That's a really weird example, but yeah, you know what I mean. An experiment can be something really, really, really small, like having a coffee with someone and asking them about how they got into it or joining a workshop that they're running. These are all experiments, and these are all going to teach you about your strengths. Also, one more thing. Do you remember the last activity that I gave you in video number 1 about figuring out what gives you energy? Yes, so you can incorporate this into this activity and figure out, okay, what things give me energy and which, like, what do these things have in common? Like, can you cluster them somehow? And then how can I do more of this? How can I do more of this and like run experiments at work? How can I do it in my private time? How can I capitalize on these things? You can even put in all of your strengths, or no, not your strengths, your energy givers, your energy providers into ChatGPT and ask it what it has in common and what experiments you can run at work, insert your specific work scenario to figure out like what you can try at work and how you might want to kind of go deeper there. So those are just some ideas. I'm going to now do these couple of experiments, and I think I will report back in a few weeks or maybe even months time with the third part of this video series where I kind of share my results and maybe even find someone to interview about this topic, because I think it would be really fun to have like someone else in there and someone else's perspective. But for now, I'm just going to leave it at this, and there will be other videos about other topics. And yeah, I just really hope that you do some of these activities. They're super easy. You can literally do them today and then take action, because that's how you find your strengths. Experiment, experiment, experiment. And yeah, have fun. Bye.